My husband owns his own business and he's drowning. He works 11 to 12-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week, and has done so for years. I know that it's tough to be in business right now, but we haven't had a real holiday since our honeymoon in 2019. I'm worried about him and also kind of over it. He's exhausted, moody, and taking on work he hates just to keep the business afloat. I've suggested he hires help, just take some time off for mental health, or even get a part time job for a regular income so you don't have to worry about getting the work, but instead just doing the work. I don't know how to help. It's impacting us both. From the outside, it looks like you've both found a way to work with clients you enjoy, keep the lights on, and still have a life. How the hell do we get there before we break or divorce?
Gosh, that one's a big question, and thank you for sharing that with us. That's obviously, yeah, it sounds like a really challenging time. As you know, as a business owner myself, I can understand, working some really big hours to, try and get the projects done or, get things in order. But as Andy was reading this, I was kind of taking some notes, and I think one thing to be mindful of and have in a conversation with your husband is that you need to reshape the systems in the business to help support the lifestyle that you want. And while there will be times that, it's all hands on deck and there's longer hours, from what you've described, 11 to 12 hours, 5 to 6 days a week for a very long time, quite literally isn't sustainable. And it makes sense that he isn't himself. And it makes sense that he's feeling kind of trapped. So I think that maybe penciling, like sitting down with him, maybe he could get a business coach or, a mentor within the sector. Because while, like I said, sometimes there are long hours, what you've described isn't sustainable. I'm all for holidays. Like I think as a creative person, I need to get away from the computer. Otherwise I can't function. And I also get moody and grumpy and the work itself suffers for it. So I think that even though it feels like he can't, I think maybe a surprise weekend away might, do the two of you wonders, have some time together and you can approach it with maybe a bottle of wine if you drink wine. And just try and like spend time together and enjoy each other's company outside of the stress that's happening for him in his work. And I think the other thing I just took a note of is I know that sometimes, you're not going to 100% love every single project, but I think if he is continually taking on projects that he does not enjoy, that will lead to other projects that he does not enjoy. And it's a very slippery slope. I think that, being aligned with your clients is the happiness that you get at work. And if you're working on a whole heap of work that you dislike, there's a good chance you're going to dislike the day to day and then bring that home with you. So I think I would be personally thinking, okay, when these projects are wrapped up, this is where we need to kind of focus. Like the areas that bring him joy, the areas that he likes, and then shaving back to a normal kind of business hours. At least, 9 to 5. I think working on the weekends all the time, again, not sustainable. And by the sounds of it, he has a very caring and lovely wife that loves him, and sounds like you've, been supportive of this journey. And, I'm sure it's hard being married to, someone that's passionate about what they do or running a business. It's not for the faint hearted. So props to you just generally. Like, I am, forever thankful for my better half for that exact same reason. But I think it sounds like a step back to find the clarity, to rethink about how the business is serving you and find that time together is really important.
Mm.
Absolutely. And, everything that Sarah said, I mirror completely. The only things that I would just kind of add to it is sort of dittoing my answer to the question before, is it is his responsibility to put the support around him, to understand that he can't do everything on his own, and that seeing a therapist is not a weakness, it's actually a strength, because it allows him to see things a bit clearer. When you're in the mess, it's all up right here in front of your face, and it's really hard to see a way through. So having a therapist is really helpful. If money's tight, there's 2 books that I think are really potentially helpful for him in his current situation. One is more of a business related thing. It's called Predictable Success by Les McEwen. I've put the Amazon link in there. It's fantastic. It helps to demonstrate the different stages of business and what you need to do in order to move from one stage to the next stage. It sounds like he might be in whitewater, which is where everything feels so super chaotic. And there's only a few little things that you need to change in order to get to predictable success. So, or he might be in early struggle, which is where we're just basically clambering to try and get every job that we can. And so again, there are certain things that you can do that get you to fun. So there's different stages of business. It's a brilliant book. And then the other one that I think would be helpful for him is to get the book. It's called Hero on a Mission by, Donald Miller. Donald Miller is the brilliant writer behind building a story brand, behind Business Made Simple, both the book and the online learning platform. And Hero on a Mission is a really great book about understanding who you are and what's important to you and how to build the life you want to live. It's a really fantastic book. So yeah, there's help there. It's up to him to actually reach out and do it. And if it's getting to the stage where divorce is on the cards, then I would be suggesting that the two of you go to couples therapy. Again, you can do that through bulk billing. Relationships Australia is an option. And just making sure that you guys are communicating, because yes, it's wonderful to have the support of someone who cares when you're in business. However, that's also not your job. Your job is not to be there to just allow this to just keep happening. You can put boundaries in place. You're allowed to say, no, this doesn't work for me anymore, because a partnership in a marriage is the same as a partnership in business, is the same as a partnership in any scenario. And it has to work for both sides. If it's not working for both sides, then something needs to change. If nothing changes. And then, well, you know where that goes. Yeah, exactly. So it is important that, we have these tough conversations, and sometimes we kind of tiptoe around things for too long, and then we build resentment and all of those things. And that just festers and just gets worse. So yeah, I'm not saying break up, but I'm just saying it's important that you have some tough conversations when you need to. You're allowed.
Yeah. Really great answers. Hopefully that does help the person that sent the question in. I really loved, Sarah, what you said about, like, if you're doing work you don't love and that's all people can see of the work that you're doing, you will just keep getting more of it. That is so true. The other thing I was thinking as well, kind of like on the other side of this, is like, don't feel the person that sent the question in, like, don't feel like you have to be the fixer, which I guess is sort of a little bit what you were talking about, Tara, as well, because I know sometimes it can feel like, if your husband doesn't feel like you fully understand what this job is like and what it's like to be a designer and what it's like to run your own business or agency, it can feel like it's kind of getting in the way, or that you haven't taken the time to understand it. It's like someone coming along and just giving you advice and you're like, well, wait a minute. So it's that kind of difference between like supporting and fixing. But the other thing I would say is, you know what, there's so many people in our industry willing to just have a chat. And I think one of the big things perhaps for your husband is just like getting out and talking to people and understanding that, actually there's other people in this boat, or other people have been in that boat and have been able to kind of move on as well. And I'm happy to say, like, the reason I do Never Not Creative is to be able to have chats like this. So if you want to, I'm more than happy to jump on a Zoom and have a chat if anyone's open to it. So that's it's kind of what we do quite a lot of.